Okay, so right before I run out to the garden, I wanted to drop this gem that I was thinking and talking and talking and thinking. And people have to understand that you have to be mindful what you say in your home about another person. Um, ding for confirmation. You, especially if that person is connected in ways you are not to the spirit realm, world, dimension, whatever you want to fucking call it. There's different planes of existence. When that person is tapped in and tuned in, their spirit team has the capacity and know how to hear everything. Does that make sense? I don't, the minute that person's name is mentioned, that's what I need you to understand. The minute that person's name is mentioned, one of their spirits, who's ever in charge of that, because each spirit has a charge. I shall give my angels charge over you. Every single one of them has a charge. So there's a spirit angel, whatever you want to call it. We get so hung up on the bullshit. Whatever it is, right? It's there. It won't sit still. I have a hair spirit too. If you understand. So that angel that's in charge of you, the minute your name is mentioned and it's omnipresent, that means that five different people can be talking about you at five different times, and it will shoot out that to that five people because your name carries a frequency. And when your name is spoken, and I know I can hear right now before I finish that sentence, my name is Keisha, right? My name is also Kayla, New York. So when someone says Keisha T Grant or Keisha Grant, and the energy that they feel when they say my name, that's what activates my person or thing, whatever you want to call it. You understand? That's what activates it. And it goes up. We got a ping. Someone's talking about her. We got a ping. It could be thousands of people. Bring, we got a ping. Okay, and then what starts to happen is they start going into blessing or cursing mode. Does that make sense to you? I need you guys to get this because it's not just me. You know, that would just be weird if it only happened with me. It happens to all of us. Now, the level of protection and the level of scope and the level of capacity to bless or curse or whatever words you want to use to do it determines your mission. What are you here to do? It determines if you are in alignment with this level of power. They're not going to give you this power. Do you know the stuff I had to go, Jesus Christ, the stuff I had to go through to get here? I was tested, tried, went through gauntlets, went through gladiator shit, face lions, face tigers, got thrown in the pit, didn't know I was in the pit, found a light, can't have the light, gotta wait with the light. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Do you understand? So don't think that I just woke up here and I just have this can happen. No, that's not what happens. And neither of the other people. I guarantee you, if a person goes to, yeah, my spirits can hear when you talk about me, that person will tell you a lot of the stuff they went through to be able to have that. It's not something that the spirit world just gives. It's like a badge that, like I don't know about Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, like Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, like where you have badges and shit. I have the survive the bullshit. I should make that. Oh my god, I should make those badges. Ah, I digress. You should make those badges too. Let's all make badges. But yeah, survive the fucking apocalypse badge, survive, gaslighting and all that other stuff because you earned this. This is not something that's given to you. F you if you think that this is something that you just wake up and you have it. Now, let me be clear. We're all born with it. All people at this level who are looking at me right now, you were born with it. You had it since you were a kid. But you didn't have the memory nor the space that you lived in or any of those things in order to use it like how you're using it now. Like now, I guarantee you, from that last video that went viral about me telling you to leave certain people alone, that means there are a lot of you. There are a lot of you that are on the same level that I'm at and going through maybe not the exact same thing, but pretty similar things that I'm going through, depending on what your mission is. And if you are on mission. Does that make sense? If you're not on mission, they're not going to give you anything because you're not on mission, and they're still trying to get you on mission, that they can't give you anything for the mission because you're not on mission. Does that make sense? You're asking for things, but you're like, people are like, oh, I want to be a millionaire. For what? I always said that. I did not want to be a millionaire until I realized I had a mission. And I had to make sure that my legacy was first set. It was set, it was clean, it's cleared, it's all this other stuff. Then I help other people get that same level of legacy lock. Does that make sense? That's what I'm just doing. I'm just giving you tips, tools, tricks, whatever that I did so I could at least got here. And then when I get here, I'm gonna tell you that shit too. Does that make sense? So it's just like you are watching me because there is no, I think I'm awake. There is no, I think I have a mission. There is no, I think I have a person. There is no, I think I have a spirit family. There's no thinking. These are the things that you know. You know that you are a spiritual being having a weird ass human experience in a weird ass game that looked like it got hijacked. But I digress because it's going to shut me down. But anyway, so for me, it's like I need you to get the understanding of who you are. Right now, I'm talking to two people. If you haven't noticed, most of my videos, I'm usually talking to two people. I'm usually talking to the people who things are happening to and to the people who are doing it. That's why a lot of times you'll see like I'll sway back and forth with the information because I'm talking to two people, because it's two people that this is involving. It doesn't just involve one person. And they sent me to mediate whatever this is. So that's what I'm here to do because I've been on both sides. So since I've been on both sides, I can give you both perspectives and how I learned what I should do for me to be a better person and be the person I want to be. That's what I'm here for. I the things that I did, I just tell you, I don't like hold it and be like, yeah, figure it out. That's just me because I remember figuring it out was a lot of work, and I don't want my kids or my kids' friends or my friends whenever they show up, I don't want them to have to suffer with something that I already had the answer to. That's just selfish. Does that make sense? But anyway, so you're protected. You know that you are here for something. And whatever that is, it's a big deal. And and when I say they, I don't freaking know. To say I know who they are completely and whatever in total, I would be completely wrong because every day I'm finding out more stuff. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So that the only word that could like encompass everything is they. So that's why I use the word they. So they surround you, and anything and everything that comes to mess with you because you're the mission. That's what you need to understand. People are like, oh, I'm looking for the mission. No, the mission is inside of you. And until I learned that, I kept trying to outwardly like do things and fix things and help people and all that other stuff when all I had to do was sit and it pours out. It just pours out. And it pours out in a way now that I can help 18,000 people in my living room. Does that make sense? And it's like just by something I went through. There's someone who's like, okay, now I can figure this out. Because that was a missing piece that I had or that I needed to finish this puzzle. So I'm just giving you pieces. There's probably going to be another person that's going to give you a different thing that's going to add a piece to that. You understand? So there's going to be different things and different people. I'm just one of them. So it's like I love the love. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. But you also have to remember you are your own piece. So you have to position yourself first and find out what you want to do and who you want to be and how you want to express it. And if you muscle test, you can have clearer understanding of at least what your body wants. If you don't believe any of the other woo stuff, that's fine. Muscle test to know what your body is saying. Is your body saying yes, or is your body saying no? Do you understand? Just let it have a say. I try to let my body have a say in almost everything we do. Sometimes when I don't want to do it, and my body's like, no, I don't want to do this, and I know what it needs to get done, I'm like, all right, Huffa, we gotta get this done. Let's go, and I push her past it. But for the most part, she has a say. She has a say. I'm like the driver in the operating system. This suit, the reason why you are having the issues that you are having is because you keep not allowing your body to have a say in how it feels and what it feels. I've done that. I've done that where my body didn't have a say on which direction I was going to go. I was just like, I'm going. Meanwhile, my body's like, what are we doing? We're not even doing this right. Like, what is your problem? So it's just like, once I allowed my body to actually have a say and I gave it a name, it actually gave me its own name. It's like it's more of a collaborative effort than just me just pushing through. Meanwhile, my body and mind have to be connected. And if they're not connected, we have a problem. Does that make sense? But that was for someone within the group that I was talking about of being the gifted or the and gifted only means you were gifted enough to get to this level because you have to have gifts to get to this level. This isn't something you just wake up and you're here. It's a lot. It takes grit. It takes spitfire and grit to get here. And anyone who says, "Oh, it was fine," you're not there yet. If you're like, "Yeah, everything was oh, I had no problem," you're not there yet, and you're nowhere near it. You're not even close to it. It's like Superman getting next to kryptonite. You're not even close to it. Does that make sense? You know who you are. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to you don't have to fight any battles. You don't have to go against. The only thing I find that I have to do, which is I didn't realize how challenging it was, manage my expectation, manage my response to what's happening. Does that make sense? So it's like I know everything is flawed. Everything has a flawed premise. So once I know everything has a flawed premise, I know that there are going to be days that this is not going to go well. Even with my person, there's going to be days that this is not going to go well. There's going to be days that we're going to either be tested because every relationship gets tested. We're going to be tested to fortify the relationship. And on top of it, we're going to be tested as individuals. You understand? So there are going to be times where you're in complete separation from each other because you have to be tested and tried for whatever mission that you're doing. You have to be tested and tried and fortified before you can come together to go forward. And then once you go forward, you're still going to be tested and tried, because every level is something different. Every time you get close, you're not really getting closer to anything. Like I tell you, success is a road. You're just doing stops on the road. If you don't want to go any further, there you are. But if you like, hey, what's over there, and you just go over there, you're just living your life. I believe success is living the life you want. If you want to be a race car driver that drives cars and does all that stuff, and that's everything that you want, and that's all that you want, and that's fine. Live that life. Live that life to the fullest, but you got to get there. There's certain sacrifices that you've got to do to get there. You know, and if it's worth it to you, you make those sacrifices. I know. I know this from my own experience. It's not something I read in a book. It's just something that happens. And you don't get a lot of applause for it, if any, sometimes. You know, a lot of times you feel like you're pushing a gigantic rock up a hill, and you turn around and you're pushing backwards like this, and you're looking at the people who should be helping you push the rock, and they're just looking at you, taking pictures of you, taking pictures of you, seeing how you move the rock, seeing how you push the rock up the hill, and you're looking at them and you're saying to them, can you please help me? And then it's like, even though you have some people in your ear going, yeah, you can do it, do you need anything to eat, do you need anything to drink, but they're not pushing the rock. They're pushing you to push the rock. They're giving you the energy, the companionship, the talking, to for you to have the energy and stamina to push the rock, but they're not pushing the rock because they're not physically here to push the rock. They're talking to you. And then the people who are physically here in front of you, they're taking pictures. They're like, hey, can I have, do you have time for, and I need this, and meanwhile you're still pushing this rock. So it's like, that rock gets heavy, especially when you get to where you're supposed to flick it up. Like, there's always a point when you get to the plateau, you got to flip it. And like right now, I feel like I'm right about here, where and it's a little bit more, and then it's going to flip. Does that make sense? But it's going to take more than just me to flip it up, so to this next level, right? It's those that know what I'm talking about, please say you know what I'm talking about, because I know I'm not the only one that this is happening to. It's like, I need other people to be like, yeah, this is happening to me, and just tell us in a brief, like, whatever is happening to you. Because it's like, I know the worst thing for me is feeling I'm the only one going through this. And that's how I felt for a very long time. That I was the only one going through this. No one else understood what was going on. This wasn't happening to anyone else. And the universe picked me to pick on, and it was just like being mean to me. But then I started to realize, watching different platforms, that wow, I'm not the only one that this is happening to. This is happening to other people too. I was like, okay. And then and I felt like I needed to give back. And that's where these platforms came from. That's why we're broadcasting like this, because it's like, I know I needed it. So people need it. Now, getting back to our original premise, watch your mouth with what you say in your homes. You have to. I know this sounds spooky and shit, but it's really not. It's like, now, if the person was being a mean person, and if the person hurt your feelings, and if the person did whatever, trust and believe nothing's going to happen to you. But when you start lying about that person, when you start instead of looking at what you did wrong in the situation, you make it seem in your little arena like they did something to you when they didn't. They didn't do anything to you except exist. And you have your own trauma that you're not working on, and you're upset that they can shine the way that they shine because they've dealt with their trauma, or they are dealing with their trauma. They're dealing with their hangups. They're dealing with other things. That's why they shine like that. Not because they just think that they're better. They should think that they're better because they are better, because they're better because they put in the work. You cannot get upset at someone who put in the work to be who they are, where they can just flow into any room and command it. You understand? That is something that they had to dig out, because I guarantee you, those people, they didn't have they didn't have parents cheering them on. They didn't have siblings that told them how great they were. They didn't have any friends. They didn't have like companions that made them feel special and all that stuff. No, they had to go through dirt, quicksand, freaking windstorms and all this other stuff to get the confidence that they have, that you are jealous of, that you didn't do any work to get. You're jealous of something you did not earn. That behooves me. It makes me go, what? How are you upset about something or someone just because they are powerful? Just because they can stand in a room and say, this is not right. Why are we doing this? In front of everyone, and not give a fuck what anyone says, because it is wrong. And you need to chill out. Someone needs to be the voice of reason. You cannot be upset at that person that they're the voice of reason, because you haven't dealt with whatever trauma you went through, that you can't speak up in a room except to agree. You understand? Or to push your own agenda. Does that make sense? It's like, those are the people I'm talking to right now. Watch what you say in your house. Because the minute my name is called and the energy signature is me, bing, they got a bing. And honestly, the majority of the time, I am not even aware of it. This is going on all over the place. And past relationships, past friendships, new relationships, upcoming relationships, anytime my name is mentioned, there's a ping. And that person, or whoever they gave charge over that, he might have a whole freaking command center. Whatever they get him charge of, bing, okay. And then they start, okay, this is what we have, and this and this, and this is that. How do you think a lot of us already know who you are before we even meet you? There's people who I have walked up on, and the minute I saw them, I heard, leave that person alone. And I was just like, okay. And I've tested the theory. I didn't listen before when they would tell me, leave that person alone. And guess what happened? I got burnt. And they were like, what did we learn? I was like, we learned to listen to spirit. You understand? When the spirit says leave them alone, you just, I'm not saying that you cut them off unless you need to, unless they're like, do not talk to that person at all. But if they're like, be mindful of that person is not a good person. That person is here for this, and that. It's like, who knows? You know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's not just a Scorpio thing, even though Scorpios have it really strong. Water signs have it a lot stronger than anyone else. Any other sign, I don't know about any other signs, but I know water signs have it more than anyone else. And then kind of like Capricorns. I've seen Capricorns operate, they have it too. They do. They have it too. But anyway, we know. I know you sometimes I know you before you even, so when you do stuff, it's kind of like, so that's how you're going to do that. And then I'm like, okay, and we move on. But my spirit team already told me who you are. They already told me, like, don't put your trust in this person, because you're not going to get what you need. Just keep it at the level as it is, and leave it there. And I haven't listened, and I did get burned, and I did get hurt. And one thing they do not like is to see me hurt, because it messes with the mission. Anything that messes with what whatever mission this is, it is going to have a consequence behind it. Does that make sense? There's going to be consequences behind it. The spirits do not play when it comes to things. And the level of your mission, the level of your capacity, the level that you are in the spirit realm or the 3D, whatever you want to call it, if you're at a certain level, it's like bad. Like there's I've okay, you think I'm playing, right? There was one time I was at work, and there was this was years ago. There was an everybody had an issue with this person, right? Everybody had an issue with the person. Everybody was like, oh, da 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 da, da, kept complaining about the person. So I was listening, and I was, and then it came to me where they were like, oh, this is the issue. And I was like, well, I didn't hear the other person's side. See, I didn't hear the other person's side. I just heard one side, and I didn't bother to hear the other side. That was the first and last time I made that mistake. So I started putting my mouth on it, started talking. That sounded so bad. I started shut up. And I don't edit my videos. So I started talking about it, right? I started talking. And when I walked away, I sat down in my seat, and I heard as clear as day, don't you ever talk about that person like that again. They were like, that is not the one to do that to. Never do it again. And I was just like, it was so weird because I had like, oh shit. It wasn't about me. It was about somebody else. And they were like, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly what was said, but it was something like that. And it's funny because I told that person too, because oh shit. I told that person years later, I told them, I was like, you are highly protected. And they were like, what do you mean? And I told them the story. And they just looked at me and smirked. And I was just like, yeah, your spirit team don't play about you. I was blessed to get a warning. I was absolutely blessed to get a warning. I've done that more times than I would like. And I'm not going to tell both stories in the same video, but there was another time that happened, but I'll digress on that. But like I was saying to the two of you, you have to know you're powerful, and you have to know that you're protected, and you have to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that no matter what it is, you're going to be okay. You just got to keep moving forward. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have test days. You're going to have fortified days. Those days suck. Does that make sense? And you're going to have days that you panic. You're going to have days that you're scared. You're going to have days that you're sad. You're going to have days where it seems like there is no exit out of this room. But eventually the door is going to appear and you're going to go out. You just got to keep moving forward. And if you're my student, you need to clear whatever you are finding. You need to clear it. We are not allowed to teach the masses to clear. I am only allowed to have students. So, and the students have to be vetted through the muscle testing. So those who have been reaching out to me and saying, can you work with me? Can I work with you? I muscle test if I can. And if they say no, the answer is no. Yes, because it's going to be detrimental for you and me. So if we're not ready to work together, they will tell me that is not your assignment because it's not. All right. Um, so you know that you are protected, you are guided, you have everything that you need. Now, y'all over here, don't cook up stuff. Don't cook up stuff. I'm not saying to fake it. I'm not saying, oh, let me talk nice about this person because something bad is gonna happen. That's not what I'm talking about. The spirits aren't like that. It's more along the lines of do not defame someone's character, especially when they didn't do anything to you. Don't speak ill of that person unless they did something. If they did something to you, lay it out. You understand? But if they didn't, and you are just mouthing off because you feel you were offended when you didn't really look at what you did to get your feelings hurt. You understand? Oh, that's my phone. Stay safe, blessed. Deuces, and I'm out.